So Konami have released two new players in the coin store, Silvestre and Nistlerooy, so I'm going to let you know if I think they're worth it. Just a quick note, if you're on Steam, unfortunately, you can't get these players. I'm sorry, but Konami don't seem to like you. I don't know what to say. So starting off with Nistlerooy, this is a player that I actually really like in eFootball because I've had loads of previous versions and on both accounts, so I've got lots of experience. And he's pretty much the perfect fox in the box for me. He's always in the right position and he's just very clinical when he shoots. You can see on this build here, I went for 98 finishing. Now, I don't think the finishing stat needs to go that high. I just did that for the 84 curl and his finesse shots were quite good. But if you don't think you need to put as much reliance on his finesse shots, you can obviously take that finishing down. We'd probably go down to about 9 points there, and then you can get his dribbling up a little bit, maybe even get his passing up or his aerial an extra bit, and he would be slightly more well-rounded. Now, if you're not enjoying this guy, I would recommend not really leveling his jumping too much. In my eyes, Nistlerooy shouldn't really be used as a target man. Now, he is quite decent in the air, this version anyway. He's got 84 jump and he's 189 centimeters tall, whereas the previous Real Madrid version that I have would be only having 76 jump, and he's slightly smaller. Don't know how that happened, Konami. Don't know how he's grown a centimeter, but we won't worry about it. But if we're just going to compare these two cards, there is differences, but there's not much splitting them. So the old Real Madrid has a lot more awareness. The new one on this new build has more dribbling. Finishing the same, better heading on the old one, but of course the new one has better jumping, so it's a bit weird. Which one would you actually prefer? Then more curl on the new one. Then I definitely do think I noticed that I thought the finesse shots were a bit better on this new one. More speed and particularly more acceleration on this new one. So even though the old Nistlerooy has more attacking awareness, I felt like that extra acceleration helped this new Manchester United Nistlerooy get into position a lot better, and he was scoring lots of tap-ins for me because he just knew where to be in the right place at the right time. And then, of course, some of you might have this old big-time Nistlerooy. The new one is an upgrade on it, and for how cheap you can get the card, I definitely think it's probably worth it. And while it is harder to split the Real Madrid and Manchester United version, I still would argue it's probably worth going for this new Man United version, just because for the Premier League events, you can actually just use this Manchester United version in it, and it's such a cheap investment that you can't really go too wrong. You're not really going to regret it in the long term. So for skills, I actually would recommend double touch, flip flap, and soul control on this guy just because he has the very high weak foot. It'll really help him with his finishing, being able to do that double touch shot. Then I'd probably go for cut behind and turn and then through passing. But if you don't want to go for that level 3 double touch, you can go for skills like one touch pass, gamesmanship, super sub, but I really would recommend the level 3 double touch. And you can see his record there for me, 13 games and 10 goals. Now his record is actually a little bit better because I think at the start I was struggling with him. Maybe he had like 5 games and 2 goals, so he kind of caught up there in the end. And then of course, if you use Ruben Amorim, the new manager, he fits into that link up quite well. And then I have actually noticed 2 players linking up under Amorim's system. But that takes us on to the next player, Silvestre, and surprisingly, this guy is actually the cheaper option of the two, and this guy is a must buy. This guy, to be honest, I don't have much notes. I'm not even going to try really sell it to you. Just get him. Just use him. He's amazing. And I was using him for about 8 games before I realized he has edge crossing. So I was thinking purely just on his like overall like defensive ability and how he feels with the ball at his feet. But this guy can also have edge, or does also have edge crossing, so very good. You can see I've already played 31 games with him, and if I wouldn't have played 31 games with him if he wasn't able to get into my main team. Like, he's actually replaced Philip Lam for me at left back so far. So this is the build I went for. It's actually quite interesting. You don't have to put much points into passing. He already hits the 84s. So I went for 5 dribbling just to get to 80 to make him fast. 84 tackling. That's why we have 10 defending. So we're hitting 84s everywhere. 84 speed and then 84 acceleration. Now for boosters, and we'll get back to Nistlerooy on this as well in a sec. The booster is largely irrelevant just because the way boosters should be worked is because 84 gives a boost with the manager proficiency. Your first priority when building cards should be get as many relevant stats to 84. So you can see we've done that with Silvestre. And then afterwards you'd be looking to hit 90. So you can see the 90 aggression or the 91 lofted pass. But he's not close to any thresholds there really. Now if this card had 89 aggression, then you would definitely want to put a booster that gets him up to 90. But most importantly, if you take off any of these stats that we've invested a lot of points into, so 10 dexterity, 10 lower body strength, or 10 defending, you're going to go to 83 tackling and you're going to lose a massive boost. You're going to lose 84 speed and lose a massive boost, and you're going to lose 84 dexterity and a massive boost. So really, the booster is irrelevant on Silvestre. I think boosters for the most part are kind of irrelevant. I don't really put them on players, and I don't worry about them. There are some times where you can squeeze a little bit extra out of cards due to the booster, but for Silvestre, it definitely isn't needed. For Nistlerooy, it's mostly the same. I did go for shooting, because if we want 95 finishing, we would have had to put 10 points in, but because we have a shooting booster, we only have to put 9. So anything that increases his finishing really should be put on Van Nistelrooy. So for the skills on Silvestre, you can probably go for low lofted pass to start. It'll help him switch the ball. Let's say he wants to switch the ball to Yamal on the other wing. It'll help him get the ball over there quicker, and he has got great lofted pass, so he will be very good at that. Then I'd probably go for one touch pass, just so he can help with 1-2s. He's a very good attacking fullback. Like, I really like having him bomb up and down the pitch, so I usually use him without a defensive instruction. Although even if you use a defensive instruction, he is physical enough to kind of sit in there. Now, he doesn't have great jumping. He does start with aerial superiority. I think for centre back, you're never going to get him good enough in the air to be dominant in the air centre back, but even if you don't invest into his aerial like I have, he has enough jumping mixed with his height and then mixed with the aerial superiority to be good enough in the air at fullback, because most of the time you're going to be marking like Messi or small players out there. Maybe a Gareth Bale he might struggle a little bit with, but overall I think he should be fine. And if you were going to play him in centre back, it would be in a back three on the wide left here. So yeah, one touch pass and low lofted pass. Next, I would probably go for soul control, just because he has edge crossing. Sometimes you can do a knock on and then hit the cross in. It'll be more accurate. Then of course you could go for double touch and flip flap, but I'm not really gonna recommend that on him. To be honest, it's probably not an issue. Like, I really do love the ball roll on Roberto Carlos, but I'm kind of getting sick of recommending the ball roll on every single player. So if you don't want to go for that, I'd probably go for outside curler. It will help with his through balls, and the very few instances where you might get really far forward with him, he might be able to hit a shot. And then I'd give him track back just to make him a bit better defensively, a bit more active. And of course, he is quite fast and has got great stamina, so he will be well suited for that. So overall, I think it's pretty much a no-brainer to go for these guys, particularly this guy here, Silvestre.